can't imagine he'd play a whole lot, but he is their final piece to get integrated back into this lineup. You see there 4-1 when he's played in NBL23. He only averaged 13 minutes in those games because he was just coming off not playing for a while when he came back into the country. So it's going to take a while because he's a unique piece. When he's rolling, we know how good Joe Chi is. We've seen him at his best, and he's going to enjoy being back out there. But Simon Mitchell started to tighten up his rotations, and now they've got to try and get him back integrated. He's a beast on the offensive end and blocking shots. They just got to worry about him in the ball screen.
Let's get a feel for how the Phoenix are setting things up tonight. It's great to have Drew Jones part of the coverage, and he is with the coach, Simon Mitchell.
Thanks, Al. Yeah, Simon Mitchell is with me. Simon, Joe Chi is back. We're all so happy to see. What are we going to see from him tonight in terms of minutes and output?
Yeah, I don't think we have the highest of expectations on minutes. Obviously, he's had a long layoff with the 5 rounds. So we're going to bring him back gently. We don't want any sort of recurrences of the calf injury.
We haven't seen him hit the heights so far this season. A multitude of reasons for that. How far away from his best do you think that he is?
It's difficult to say. We're going to work on his lungs and make sure we try and get him up to par over the next 2 or 3 rounds, I think, and then we'll see the best of Joe Chi down the stretch.
How do you mix and match the minutes with Big Sauce Williams, because he's playing really great basketball right now?
Yeah, no, Sauce is our starting centre, and Joe will come in and offer us a different look.
Simon, we appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
Al, back to you.
Good on you, Drew. Look forward to hearing from you throughout the coverage tonight. And thanks to Simon Mitchell. Sam Froling, well, if he can produce as he did against Melbourne United, then maybe Jacob Jackomas' side might be able to achieve something again.
That's the Sam Froling that everybody wants to see. Sam was sensational last week, 29 points, 9 boards, and it was his aggression for mine, which I really loved. Now, Sam has just got to make the decision because he's got all the tools. He just needs to make the decision. I'm just not going to be satisfied being a good player. I want to be a great player, and I don't need him to score 29 tonight, but he has to play like he can get 29 every night.
We know what he's capable of, Pete. It's about, as Damon says, seeing it on a more frequent basis.
Oh, no doubt. I'm not sure what flicked for him in this game. This is what we've been asking for the whole year. Yes, we know they've got Tyler Harvey. They're bringing Peyton T and Michael Frazier, but they needed to make him more of a focal point on the offensive end. And I think it looked like he just took it upon himself to start that game, and he was unstoppable.
Yeah, he absolutely was. So he'll be a key part of things tonight. Michael Frazier has, playing only game 3 for the Hawks tonight, but he has added something, hasn't he?
Michael Frazier is pure class. He came here in shape, which was tick number 1, but he gives the Hawks that extra little bit of grunt. Some defensive toughness, can obviously score the ball, and just another old veteran in, you know, to bring some stability to the backcourt and also to the front court when he goes down low.
Doesn't take much to impress you coming in. If you're in shape, that's an automatic tick to start.
Let's take a look at how things are shaping up. The champion starting 5s for tonight, starting with the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and that is the same starting 5 as defeated Melbourne United 78-72 in the throwdown.
And that is their starting. That's going to always be, even when Joe Chi gets his legs underneath him, because Al Williams, as we've mentioned, he's been outstanding all season long, averaging 17 points and 9 rebounds, had some big performances. And that right there, one of the most talented starting 5s in the league, make no mistake about that. And as I mentioned, Simon Mitchell starting to just tighten up rotations, not going into his bench too much, and that's what they're going to need to do. They should have eyes set on top 2. Avoid the play-in series, just eyes set on the top 2.
Well, interesting, Simon Mitchell called everyone in for the mid-season review in the lead-up to this game, and they really laid it down. Let's just bridge that gap between the best and our worst as we see the champion starting 5 for the Hawks tonight. And there is some quality there without question.
That is a good starting 5 as well. Tyler, the pathological scoring Harvey, Peyton Sievers providing a whole lot of impact at the point guard position. Michael Frazier gives him a little bit of everything. Sam coming off his best game of his career. Need to see him do more of that. And Ding Ding was also very good last week with 11 points and 9 boards. Need to see Ding Ding more involved.
So the Illawarra Hawks have not given themselves a real run at it, despite having terrific home and away seasons the last couple of years when they finished 3rd and 2nd at the end of the season and making the semi-finals. It's not panned out the way they would have liked this year, but they can be a disruptor, and in that sense, do Southeast Melbourne Phoenix need to be on guard a little tonight?
Absolutely. And we spoke to Simon before the game. I mentioned, is this a trap game? You know, when you're playing against a team at home who doesn't have anything to play for other than pride, how do you approach that emotionally and mentally? And Simon said, look, we focus on ourselves, and we got some key areas that we want to make sure that we address, and we don't really worry about who we're playing in that regard. So looking for Phoenix to come out with a methodical, surgical type performance.
So we get ready for this one with the Phoenix, if they win, to go 3rd ahead of the Cairns Taipans. And the Illawarra Hawks searching for back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Was their victory over Melbourne United a bit of a turning point? Let's find out. We're underway at John Cain Arena at Tyler Harvey to Seaver as the Hawks have possession at the start of this match. Here's Froling. Confidence must be sky high. Harvey gets to the free throw line, puts up the floater and it goes, and he draws the foul. So that's the start the Hawks were after.
It's a really good start for Tyler Harvey, who started to tick things over. We know he struggled a little bit consistency-wise shooting the rock in NBL23, but he's really started to find his form now. And it's no surprise. He's had a bit of help. And when I say help, yes, Michael Frazier and Peyton Seaver, but now the defense has to be aware of, okay, Sam Froling's ticked it over. Peyton Seaver's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. Michael Frazier's an offensive weapon. So all of a sudden, Tyler Harvey thinks, okay, it's a bit looser defense on me. I can try and get mine.
Actually the worst performing team from the free throw line this season, the Illawarra Hawks, 63.4%. So they have given up so many free points this year, and that's even despite Peyton Seaver going 11 of 12 and Alex Madronya 6 of 6. So a few of the others let the side down on that front.
This is the matchup I'm really looking forward to seeing. Gary Browne and Peyton Seaver, two little bitty dudes that know how to make things happen.
Peyton Seaver, he's just lost his bearings a bit there.
Well, it's the kind of defense that Simon Mitchell's going to love to see. Peyton Seaver is so crafty when he gets underneath the hoop. He doesn't force anything up. He keeps his dribble alive. Steve Nash made a career out of doing exactly that, but everyone stayed home. Didn't give him a bailout pass, and in the end, he stepped out and had a turnover.
See that score, the Kings only a few minutes ago defeating the Breakers 88-81. Gary Browne for three. First points of the game for the Phoenix come from the former Puerto Rican.
Mi hermano. Gary Browne can do some of everything. He's a lot like Derek Walden, and he's a lot like Peyton. They can all hit the three. They can penetrate as Michael Frazier attacks the rack. Just when you think I better try to stay in front of Gary, just keep him and limit his penetration, he can just step back and shoot the three ball. So a very tough matchup.
17 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists for Gary Browne against Melbourne United. Let's go courtside, Drew Jones.
Thanks, Al. Yeah, Damon spoke about how Michael Frazier II turned up in shape and ready to play. He's been representing Team USA as part of their World Cup qualifying campaign. The coach, Jim Boylan, has used 37 players during that qualifying period, but Michael Frazier II has been one of the mainstays, so he's ready to go in the NBL.
Fantastic to see him here, and yes, he has made an immediate impact.
And it's no surprise, just any players coming in who have already been playing at a high level games. I'm not talking about pick-up or practice. Actual competitive games always seem to come in and not miss a beat. Same with NBL1 players to start this season. There's just a significant difference.
Browne, 2 from 2. Hot hand early.
All right, you got some decisions to make, Pete. The ball goes inside the big sauce. They don't trust Sam one-on-one, so they sit in the double, but they kick it out to Mi hermano, and he makes another three ball.
It's a little bit of, I'm not sure if they don't trust him, but they have to protect the big fellas because we know the Phoenix have a couple of them, and we've got Sam Froling and Deng Deng. Mathiang coming in. Other than that, you're going to have to go real deep into the bench, and we know the Phoenix like to throw it in on many occasions. Gary Browne, 23% from three on the season. 2 for 2 to start. He's actually been shooting very well over the last few weeks.
He is loving playing in the NBL. It's something he had in his mind for a couple of years before he did ink the deal with Simon Mitchell and the Phoenix. As Seaver pulls the trigger. Browne runs into Seaver.
Gary Browne was on the huddle. I think he might have been a little bit getting ahead of himself. Petey said, I can dunk. I don't know. I didn't see him in the warm-ups doing anything, but what do you think? Can he get up and get one?
Well, if he can, then you can.
Hey, that was a good warm-up dunker.
Now, in fairness, David, I did listen to the huddle with Liam Santamaria. If you haven't heard the podcast, it's a great listen. Covers all facets of the competition and always has a terrific feature interview. But he was saying he's never dunked in his life before, but he's not ruling it out, essentially. So there was a little more modesty in it than that.
So he's getting more athletic as he gets older.
So Trey Kell's in on the act as well. All of Southeast Melbourne's points have come from outside as Seaver drives, but find the bucket to draw them back, and look at that.
It's not going to count. It was called on the ground. I tell you what, it was awfully close. Thought he did it really smart when the contact occurred, just to throw it at the hoop. Getting a look at it here. Great skip pass, and I'll tell you what.
That's an and one.
That should 100% be an and one. The foul is there, and he just throws it up. I know there's a little pump in there. A little pump fake, but that should be counting.
So Mitch Creek for his first points. 4 threes to kick things off for the Phoenix.
Contagious. I like the way the Phoenix have come out early and established Sauce inside. And Sauce is a willing passer. The last 3 threes in a row was a result of the ball going inside first. That was the only 3 that didn't result from an inside post touch. But now the team is hot, feeling good about life.
You are one source away in that sentence from a Bunnings sausage sizzle.
So another opportunity for the Phoenix. Broekhoff just keeps it in. Why not, Gary Browne? Why not?
Well, that's why.
He got in a muddle.
He got excited. Eyes lit up. Put out another open 3 ball, and in the end, a little happy feet.
Simon, tell him, let it fly, man. We're 100% from out here.
Here we go.
So the Hawks, who scored the opening 3 points of the game, have battled at the offensive end ever since.
Big Sauce just wants everybody to know, don't forget, I'm also a rim protector. Michael Frazier II came in there with that foolishness.
With the left.
And Sauce threw it out.
Well, that's been a feature of their game that I'm sure Simon Mitchell would like to see more of. They've recorded the least blocks of any team in the competition this season, the South East Melbourne Phoenix. Joe Shee coming back in and playing more minutes in weeks to come will obviously help in that area. As Seaver is off target. Striker LeBullock with the game. Froling surrounded. Seaver goes to work. Clever. And Froling, oh, it rattles out. Broekhoff. And Browne comes away in transition for the Phoenix. Seaver with the interception. Wani bounce pass, ding, ding underneath, and the putback from Froling.
That's what Sam's got to do to get himself involved. There's only a second shot of the game. He had to go off the glass and get that one. But I like to see Peyton get Sam involved early with some ball screen action, because we got to still ride the momentum Sam had coming over from last game.
It's a 9-0 run for the Phoenix as Creek makes that look easy.
That's a tough matchup for anybody with Mitch Creek getting downhill. Loves to go to his right hand, even though he's left-handed.
Is he amphibious, Pete? Is he
ambidextrous is what the word you're looking for. Amphibious? I don't think so. Oh, I can't rule it out.
Can't totally rule it out with Mitch Creek.
I've seen crazier things. There's plenty of movies out there. But ambidextrous, I'll say yes. Amphibious, still up in the air. I reckon you've been for too many runs.
Foul first, holding. You got Mitch, No basket. No score.
This is that play. Kyle Adams just realized he was caught out there underneath the rim and said, let me guard the guy taking the ball out of bounds because they're trying to punish me down low.
Odlum has come on for Gary Browne. Frazier. Good defence from Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Trey Kell. Frazier. They get another go, and this time he knocks it down.
Good job by Sam, yeah, keeping that ball alive.
Look at Comas, he's going crazy on the sidelines, trying to rev up the crew on the defensive end.
And that's come off the hand of Ryan Broekhoff. Hudson did get out to 7. 1 point. Frazier. It's been good from outside, and here he is from underneath.
He's
with
a bull.
2 more.
He is a bull. Getting downhill. Incredibly strong frame. Quick first step. If you don't get in front of him, he's going to finish through contact. Speaking of which, Trey Kell.
So Frazier is now shot 6 threes from 11 attempts, but over 50% in his now 2 and a bit games for the Illawarra Hawks.
This is why you keep playing and you bring out imports. The Hawks could have just put the cue in the rack, Pete, and says this is the season's over with. We don't need to spend money on another import. But Matt Campbell went out and says, nope, I got to stay competitive. We owe our community, we owe the supporters to put the best possible team on the floor. They go out and get Michael Frazier the second, and now he's obviously producing for him, and I would be looking to re-signing him for next season.
Already?
I'm making that call right now. The guy's that good.
I'll tell you what, Justin Robertson, who he is replacing, sorry, that's who Peyton Seaver's replacing. He's still travelling with the team. You see him on the bench there. He's injured. And that's their big off-season signing who looked really good in the preseason. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when he does get healthy, if that is an NBL23.
Hey! Upstairs goes Mango Matiang, and he is chesting. His nostrils are flared. He's pumped.
I'm loving this energy from the Hawks, and it's all starting with this. Frazier just getting downhill, making things happen. Mango comes in and does what he does best, put the lids on it. Frazier created that much havoc that now opportunities like that, because we're not going to really go to Mango in the post, Pete, one-on-one, but he can definitely affect the game like that.
He's a hype man, and he would talk trash to a street pole. He loves it. It's the kind of energy that the Hawks need, just to clean up the mess.
Matiang levels things up.
And there is Justin Robertson. Look at those earrings.
I can't really speak on that. I'm not an earring dude. I'm too old.
Oh, you look good in those.
Is that Anticevich music we see early in the first quarter? I thought you said the rotations was getting tighter, Pete.
Well,
Adnam out to Anticevich, along with his attempted 3. And the Hawks come up with it through Frazier the second. He's getting a hard time from Gary Browne. And drives, and loses his footing and possession. Williams, Adnam. Foul call.
Just outstanding one-on-one defense from Gary Browne. Firstly, to cause that little fumble from Michael Frazier, and then the terror screen came from Matiang, and you stuck with it, ended up causing a turnover. That right there is going to get cut up and shown a lot in film when they review this game, because that's the kind of tone they want to set on the defensive end. The Phoenix, they've got plenty of offensive weapons, but can they be a consistent defensive threat? That's the key question mark about their entire championship credentials.
Well, it sounds like Joe Chee's not far away, Adnam. So 6 games out with a calf injury. He'll be on minutes restriction. What sort of an impact can he have? No problems for Carl Adnam. Remembering this season, with thanks to Latrobe Financial, we're giving away a guaranteed $50,000. You can enter the competition now at nbl.com.au/legends for your chance to win. It's a whole lot of fun, and that is a whole lot of money that could be coming your way.
What would you do at 50K, Al?
Big holiday. Buy you some new sneakers. You've worn the last pair out. No problems. So that's more points for Peyton Seaver. And the Illawarra Hawks go to the good.
Peyton Seaver, he can struggle over the course of his career. He has just struggled in the NBL to find that consistency shooting the 3 ball. Just 27% so far this season since he's come into the Hawks. And they already just look like a completely different outfit since the arrival of Michael Frazier.
The second.
The 3 import, it's rolling out there in the starting 5 alongside of Sam Froling and Deng Deng. It's great signs.
Gary Browne already with 6 points tonight and an assist. Well, he's brought some colour, some flair, some panache to this competition. He's loving playing in it. He also gives quite an interesting press conference, as we found out recently.
Please don't answer any questions before this 10 p.m. already. You got a
hot date, I think. He's running late for something.
I think one of the main reasons they don't know, but our sign is because the arena here, there's a big arena. What I found out, I think, is like they played the Wimbledon tournament here, which I'm mad because, yeah, whatever, I don't even know. Anyways, he makes those ones, but the easy ones, he smoked them. So I'm supposed to be averaging like 11 assists a game. So it's like, when he makes those, I'm like, so why the hell you make those and don't make the close ones? And he'd be like, hey, my bad, man. Like, it's like I told Coach every time, like, yeah, I'm missing. I always tell him it's the ball. Because we switch up the ball. I'm so used to the FIBA. Every time one of the guys bring a FIBA ball, he gets mad if I touch it, you know? But
I was short with the answers, bro.
More of that, please.
Absolute character.
What a fun guy. Plays his butt off on the court, has fun in the presser.
He was talking on the Huddle podcast about looking good, presenting well, smelling good. Bit of cologne doesn't go astray from time to time.
Get his,
on court.
Get his hands around some Axe body spray for Christmas.
Talk about looking good. Wait till you guys see Pete's blazer he's rocking today. Wait till you see it.
Freshie, Men's Club.
Do not leave.
Men's Club have hooked me up
coming
for the second half of the season.
Half-time, the big reveal. So we've got a tight, interesting ball game going on here. Southeast Melbourne leading it by just one, led by as many as 7 in this first quarter. On the back of excellent shooting from outside. 4 from 4 at one point. Harvey with the little floater doesn't go. Adnam downhill, quick transition from the Phoenix. The defense was fantastic from the Hawks.
I thought he had big Chi, big Joe Chi for the lob then, but Joe just affected the last shot. Just got his long arms up there and just, he won't get a stat for it. But what would you say, change another shot. What would you say, Pete, the over and under minutes played for Joe Chi? I'm going to say 8.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be more than 10, is it? Just short spurts, just try and get him, have a feel for the game.
Matasevic to Joe Chi, and his first involvement, he's fouled from behind. Can't get it to go, but he will go to the line.
I'll tell you what, Simon Mitchell might have a bit of a case here. He's saying that that should potentially be looked at. Is that a play on the ball from Matthew? Just having a little chat to him and saying, be careful, because not a whole lot of play on the ball. Knew he wasn't going to be able to impact the play.
Drew Jones is courtside. What are you seeing, Drew?
Yeah, just on Joe Chi, he had COVID and a pretty bad case of it before he headed to Australia. And at that stage, the rules in China were that you had to stay inside for 2 weeks still. So he lost a lot of conditioning before even getting to Australia. And then he slowly worked up his minutes, trying to get his feel back for the game, and then hurts his calf, misses 6 games. That was about a month ago. He actually travelled with the Chinese national team to Iran to support them in their World Cup qualifiers, which was great on paper, but probably, again, took away from his recovery. So it's been a slow process for him to get right and get back to playing.
A couple of points now for Joe Chi. And you mentioned it earlier, Pete, that difficulty they have in getting his fitness base up, given the frenetic nature of games that they have in the schedule coming up. There's not a lot of time to get the miles into his legs.
Well, the ideal way to continue to build his conditioning is practicing, where you just roll out there and play as much as you can. Maybe you do some extra conditioning post-practice. When you've got a short amount of games, most practices end up being just shoot-arounds or non-contact stuff because you're trying to keep everybody else fit. And even if you want to run him in that period, you've got to make sure he's fresh for whatever minutes he's going to play in the game as well. So there is no doubt there's a little bit of a juggling act here for the Phoenix and Joe Chi.
What would they have done in your day, Damon Lowry, to get a player like Joe Chi's conditioning up?
We would have said, you got your shoes? You're playing. Lace them up, we're playing. How many, let me ask you this question. If I get through a 2.5-hour training session, how many minutes does that equate to on the game?
20.
So why I'm only playing 4? If I can get through a 2.5-hour training session, what if I do it 3 times a week, Pete? Can I get up to 12 minutes maybe? That's just me. This is the era out, you know. Luckily, I didn't grow up in this minute restriction era. I don't know how to handle it.
Not everybody could average 49.5 minutes in a 48-minute game like you did.
Go to work, big fella.
Joe Chi, Browne, Adnam. They lose it. Seaver.
Oh, don't get too cute.
He did. Frazier didn't read it. Seaver didn't execute it.
Didn't have to go behind the back. Could have just been a little shovel pass to Michael Frazier. He didn't know that there was a Phoenix player trailing behind as well. You're right, Damon, just got a little too cute with it.
The Hawks have made a decision. Jacob Jackomas has said, we are a team that now doubles the post. And we're going to make you kick it out. We are not going to let you guys dominate us inside. And we're going to just see if you can make threes. And we're going to rotate, see what happens.
Foul is called on Tyler Harvey.
Hold. 2 shots.
It's going to be a bonus, 2 shots.
45. You can't do that. There's a difference between this and just a proper full grab. Yeah.
So Tyler Harvey, he might have a good point because he's saying, oh, I'm doing it down this end. Yep, that's a good call, but can you watch it down the other end for me? And that's just what happens when you've got 2 elite shooters trying to guard each other, coming off a couple of pin downs and flare screens. Best way to try and guard that is to not let them even get open.
Ryan Broekhoff's first points come from the charity stripe, and the lead is out to 4.
I love how Rowdy just stays engaged in a game, even though he hasn't had his shot. He still rebounds, he still defends. He's just that good teammate that doesn't take away from his game just because he's not involved. He's dang knocks one down from deep.
3-point shooting. The Phoenix going at 80%, the Hawks at 60%. What about Browne again? Oh, yeah! He just keeps pulling the trigger and keeps on knocking them down.
Oh, he's found his stroke, make no doubt about it. 3 of 3 tonight, but he's been shooting the rock tremendously well over the last few weeks and just adds another piece to the offensive puzzle for the Phoenix. And Strokel picks up his second foul, and he's trying to tell Simon Mitchell, I'm all good, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has the seat here. And look at his quick release on the Amy replay from Deng Deng. Hand in the face, doesn't matter, and then Hayden Seaver. You're up and in, you're up and in. Gary Browne's already hit 2. You go into one screen, you got to get over the re-screen.
Absolutely. And Grant Anticevic on the last one, and Deng Deng hit the 3. You can tell he hasn't played a whole lot with this group because on the penetration, he sucked in and left his guy in the corner. When Big Joe Chi was there, he had everything under control. That's just little things that Grant's got to pick up as he gets more playing time, more in the rotation.
Free throw shooting's been good from the Illawarra Hawks so far tonight. And Williams takes a bit of a breather. Out to Sevic, out to Browne. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Browne pulls up. This one doesn't go. Junior Madut the rebound though. Out to Sevic. Build things up again, the Phoenix. Through Browne. And Sevic pulls the trigger. Broekhoff. Foul is called on Junior Madut.
Oh, I think, it sure is. But I'll tell you what, this is a thing to watch with Alan Williams because you're going to have to continue to juggle this. Even when Joe Chi gets back to his full minutes, and we spoke to Simon Mitchell before the game, and he mentioned there might be a couple of sporadic opportunities, depending on who they're playing, where you can see Joe Chi and Big Sauce play alongside each other. And he said that he'd have no issues in that regard, putting Joe Chi at the 4 offensively. Now, it's defensively where the question marks would come, but those 5 games that Joe Chi played, 4-1 was the record for the Phoenix. He only averaged 13 minutes, but Alan Williams played about 22 minutes a game in those games. And we remember some key moments down the stretch where he was on the bench and everybody was thinking, okay, they're just trying to figure out who you want to roll with. He's averaging 17.2 points per game, 9.5 rebounds. So it is going to take a little bit of an impact on his role, make no mistake about it.
Yeah, that's almost when you got too much talent. Simon's got tough decisions to make. But also the way teams are now, at least the Hawks today, are guarding Big Sauce. He's getting doubled every time he touches the ball. So now what do? Do you play him on the perimeter more or on the elbows? See if he can go to work from there? Or is he going to be content just being a facilitator?
I think he's good enough to understand that that's might be what he has to do in a game like this. Surround yourself with plenty of shooters, make the right decision. And in the end, it's a compliment to how well you've been playing.
Joe Chi's being harassed illegally. 2 more. The 216-centimetre Chinese star.
Joe Chi has played a beautiful 3 minutes so far this quarter. Can I get another 3 for the next 3? 12 for the game, Pete.
Tell you what, the way these two teams are playing defense, 8 fouls apiece. We are 2 more whistles away from a nightclub. This is incredible scenes. 16 fouls, and you look at the way they've been calling them, they're all there. A lot of holding, a lot of hands on.
Four points for Joe Chi. Seaver, patient in offense as the seconds tick down. Gonna need to set something up. Underneath, Hickey with the left-hand finish. And we've got a tight one. For the 11th time this season, Southeast Melbourne leads at quarter time, but only very narrowly in the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's 28-27. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix leading by just a point over the perhaps resurgent Illawarra Hawks. At least through the opening quarter, they've done enough to suggest that they are perhaps starting to turn things around a little bit this season. Coming off a win against Melbourne United that ended a 9-game losing streak. They've played with a bit of attitude tonight as well.
I've been great in this first quarter. They've had 9 more field goal attempts than the Phoenix, but can't tap into the free throw line 12 times. The Hawks 10 times themselves. That is exactly how we started the game with a foul. We're going to start the second quarter the same way.
Yeah, I agree. But they grab first.
So foul called on Hickey there, Damon.
Good to see young Dabo on the court early. He's been playing well in his minutes. He's an athletic guard that can just give a different look. A little bit of athleticism just before the quarter finished the first. He moved off the ball, got himself a nice layup. He's a future serious rotation guy for the Hawks.
Tarangi couldn't handle it cleanly. Froling hasn't yet had the impact of last week. Just the 2 points to his name. And a couple of rebounds as well so far for Froling. 1 assist, 1 steal. Here is Froling. Williams in his face. Williams.
Well, there's another one.
Another rebound.
There's another one, Damon, who's probably amphibious as well.
Sam, as long as he stays aggressive. You know I said it on purpose, right?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
In Melbourne lately, it pays to be amphibious.
That's a good point.
Push.
But he is definitely ambidextrous, the way he can finish with his right hand anywhere around the hoop.
Browne, you got it. All right, here you go.
That might end up on commentator watch this week.
Never know. This is the studio stitcher. Good
Broekhoff, nice feed. And the finish. First points of the second quarter.
Sauce is a facilitator today, Pete. Every time he touches the ball anywhere in scoring position, help is coming. But he's finding an open man. As Sam goes to work, and this is what Sam's got to do, stay aggressive.
He's added that little fadeaway really nicely to his game, because that's what he does when he comes up against the bigger bodies like Alan Williams. Try and back him down as far as you can. As soon as he puts the brakes on, just have that touch.
Phoenix will go to third tonight if they can win. Jump ahead of the Cairns Taipans as Williams draws the foul underneath.
Yeah. There is a man who hasn't had a chance to shoot the ball too much, who said, the double team's not coming. I'm putting my head down, and I'm getting to the hoop one way or another.
Yeah, he's just got too many kilos, and he's too committed to scoring once he's that close to the basket. So why not just continue to double team for the entire game and just make everybody else have to pay? Because we don't need Sam getting in foul trouble if you're a Hawks fan, because we need Sam to be able to attack him on the other end of the floor.
Hand out, good.
Froling starting to get involved in a more meaningful way. Frazier runs at Junior Madutz. Frazier.
That man is a bull.
The fire.
Warning. Coach warning. Coach warning. Yeah.
Have a look at this. Just said, get out of my way.
Noted.
Michael Frazier's bringing the heat. He looked up and saw a mismatch that he liked. I think he likes every mismatch as a matter of fact, but he definitely went to Junior Madutz and says, nah, I cannot pass this ball knowing that I can just get around you.
9 points already.
Misses the opportunity, though, to put the Hawks in front.
Send a double. Send it.
Williams, Madutz, and the layup.
Oh, that's a great read from Junior Madutz. As you said, Alan Williams is expecting a double team. Everybody's got to move off the ball.
Illawarra. Timeout.
Jacob Jackomas wants to have a chat to his side. And they are making a game of it, the Illawarra Hawks. Last placed on the table. They are the lowest average scoring team this season. They're averaging the most points scored against them. They're playing with a spirit tonight. And they are giving Simon Mitchell and his team a bit to think about.
Being a losing team like the Hawks are does not mean they are losers. It's a mentality. They don't have a losing mentality. And they're coming out right now and they're showing this is how we play now. Everything that's happened in the past does not count anymore.
They've had to change their plans from the start of the season as well, with Justin Robinson not part of the picture, but he is still part of the setup. Let's go to Drew Jones.
Thank you very much, Al. Justin, thanks for your time. How's the knee feeling?
It's feeling great. Way ahead of schedule. Just taking it day by day.
If you're ahead of schedule, any chance you can play this season?
We'll see what the time brings us. Right now, I'm just trying to be who I am and help the guys out emotionally and mentally. So,
what are you able to do, Justin? Are you back shooting, running? How much can you actually do?
Yeah, small stuff, kind of in the protocol stage. Small stuff, shooting, a little bit of jumping. My rehab's ramped up, but just taking it slow.
And what can you do for your teammates while you're not out there actually playing?
I think just be the vocal guy, be the veteran presence, and just help our young team to continue to learn day by day.
Team are fighting hard tonight. Great win on Monday, and again, they're in it tonight. What do you think of the game so far?
Yeah, I think we're grooving. I think we're getting back to who we are and learning our identity again. And I mean, Phoenix is shooting it well right now. We're controlling the storm well, so we'll see what the game brings.
The boys are pretty impressed with the earrings upstairs as well.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Justin, appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you, Al.
Good on you. Thanks to Justin Robinson. What a great attitude.
Oh, he's a great character. That's exactly why he's staying around the club. Continue to help everybody. Be a positive lead.
Those beaches on the North Coast, North Gong, wouldn't go straight either at this time of year. So if you're going to be anywhere in the world, might as well be in the Gong.
Put the knee in the water.
Chilling on the beach. Nice coffee shop right on the beach after recovery days. I remember those.
Yep. No, but we're running down the court. The game's going on. I'm not going to stop and answer a question in the middle of the game.
There's some good dialogue going on at the moment. Jacob Jackomas is not having things his way as ding ding.
He's already had a warning. Jacob Jackomas, he is riding the referees.
Yeah. Sorry, I was on the base. I didn't have you, but I'll talk
Young Mitch is in there. I'm listening, but I'm not really listening to you, Mo. I'm not going to look at you.
He's trying to get position, and he's just going through his chest.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. I know what you're... It's that judgment between if it's too much or if it's on the borderline. So I hear what you're saying.
A masterful performance in placating an angry coach right there.
That was the old... when you really want that second ice cream from your parents and they just keep looking away and keep pleading your case.
Another opportunity from the free throw line to put the Hawks in front. They were going at a good clip early from the free throw line, but that's fallen away. And that's been a problem for them all season, the Hawks. Offensive foul is called on Alan Williams.
That was coming, no doubt about it. That's Sam Froling understanding. Last two possessions, one he passed, but the one before that he tried to go through his chest. Froling was ready for it. He said, if you're going to have another crack at that, I'm going to be prepared to take it straight through the chest. A little bit of an extension of the forearm. Easy call.
Sam held his ground. Gravity won out in the end. Luckily, he got the call. Maybe the scouting report is on Big Sauce. He might tend to go to his right here. Look like another charge.
Tyler Harvey. It's the offensive foul. Interesting, if you go back only 11 days, Southeast Melbourne Phoenix 112, the Hawks 78. It was a mauling. And yet here we are with nothing separating these two sides.
Everything's changed in their mindset. I think that's the most important thing, from the shoulders up. Yes, you've had some different pieces come in, and we spoke to Simon Mitchell pre-game. It's interesting that the game plan here was to try and let Payton Seaver handle the rock as much as possible and just keep it out of Tyler Harvey's hands.
Might pay to keep it out of the hands of Gary Browne.
And he is talking the talk. A bit of chatter going on in this one.
It's getting lively out there. That's Gary's fourth triple of the day.
That is the 26th foul of this game.
So at the moment, I've just got a normal foul on 23. I think we should have a look at the
Here's the Amy replay of Gary Browne. He's got that thing on the string. Says goodbye to Hickey. Already knocked down 3 of them, make it 4 of 4.
Yeah, C2, yep.
So they can have a potential look at this. You can hear the referees having a discussion on whether this might be looked at. So lost the ball. Oh, no,
I didn't see it.
Nothing in that. I think they were looking in case he just tried to really hold up Trey Kell after the turnover. So he fumbled it there.
Yeah, he copped a little backhand.
I don't know whether it's the backhand of the face or more of the try and stop Trey Kell from going on the break, because that's what they're looking at. The criteria of non-sportsmanlike. Didn't look like a whole lot to me, so knowing that, probably might get upgraded.
Normal foul. Yeah.
Wide 23 hit.
So this is being forensically examined at the moment.
Oh, is that 5 now?
Right, cool. I don't mind they had a quick look at that, because
Bonus, guys. Bonus 2.
at full speed you can understand why they potentially looked at it. The ball was loose, and Michael Fraser's right arm going across Trey Kell's body could look like he's trying to slow down the fast break. Quick look, saw it was a bit unintentional. And the bonus 2 awarded. Both teams in the bonus with 6 minutes and 53 seconds to go. Put the kettle on. We're here for a while.
This is the foul fest. So what's that, Pete? You're on foul count. 26 fouls?
26, and they've all been there. That's the issue. I think both teams trying to play overly physical defensively, which they need to, but just doing it illegally. Very hands-on, a lot of grabbing. You saw that big shove from Al Williams, and then down the other end, the one from Tyler Harvey on Gary Browne. They're all there.
And they're sharing them round as well. No individual's had more than 2. But everyone's been involved.
This is when a little fella, Pete, when he looked up and saw there was in the bonus, initiated operation. Let the refs know I've been hit to get to the strike.
Seaver. Hickey underneath.
That's just two great cuts. The one to end the first quarter from Hickey. That's the beauty of having a point guard like Peyton Seaver. He'll find you. As long as you continue to move off the ball.
Broekhoff for three. Williams stolen by Hickey. Just as he was about to put it back for two. Ding Ding pulls the trigger. Trey Kell the rebound.
Peyton dodged the bullet going under that Ryan Broekhoff screen. You don't want to give a guy who hasn't hit a three all game a real good look, and he got lucky that time.
Williams into the paint. He'll go to the line.
Well, he's done that twice, hasn't he? Peyton Seaver went underneath the Gary Browne. As he'd already hit 2 threes and made him pay. And you're right, Broekhoff. That was his first 3-ball attempt. You're only giving an elite shooter a chance to feel good from outside.
This is where I think Big Sauce can be effective. Obviously in the post, he's getting doubled every so often, and sometimes it gets a little bit hard just dumping it inside. But if you put Big Sauce on the elbows, Peter, he can go one-on-one. There's no double coming at that spot. So if he can make a good decision from here or just get to the rack.
One shot.
That's Mrs. Sauce.
She's not too taken with the free throws. She's
well, you remember when his parents were here?
Rebounds.
His mother refused to watch the free throws. He shoots it at a decent clip, 78% for a big man. That's why the big men don't run the break.
Browne. Trey Kell, they're great mates. Live in the same building. Have a lot of laughs together. Creek can't get that to go. Gets another opportunity. Williams underneath. Big Sauce will again have his partner diverting her eyes.
I love this mindset from Alan Williams because he knows he's going to get double teamed a lot when the ball's in the post, and he's just going to get every offensive opportunity on the glass. Just continue to crash the offensive boards.
All started too with the Phoenix going inside to Mitch. Mitch has been quiet, relatively speaking. Only got the 3 shots, but he saw the mismatch. He had Wani Swakala a bullock on him, so I'm going to take you down here to the box, young fella. And he's going to make something happen. Mitch is either going to score or he's going to create a double team. In that situation, he got the shot up and Sauce came in and cleaned up the mess.
And with that, the Phoenix go out to an equal game-high lead of 7 points. Led by 7 on the back of 3 consecutive 3-pointers made in the early stages of this game. Ding. Swakala Bullock. Just look a little indecisive. Swaka says no more of that as the shot clock was about to expire. Trey Kell comes away. Downhill. Trey Kell. Good D there from the Illawarra Hawks, denies him.
Could have easily been another foul to add to this game. Looked like a lot of contact there from Trey Kell.
Yeah, that last possession isn't the one that Jacob wanted to see the Hawks live through that one, but this Tyler Harvey's got to get aggressive. I mean, the game, even though it's only 7 points, just feels like to me it's slipping away from the Hawks.
That's an offensive terror screen on Matthew Ang, and right, Broekhoff not happy at all.
Mitch Creek's escorting him away from a potential fracas.
He turned into it.
I'll tell you what.
Y'all got an illegal screen. Anything else?
It wasn't much though, Pete.
What?
It's what?
Now,
block. Offense.
People who aren't going to be happy in this situation is Ryan Broekhoff and the Red Army, because we know what happened with Jesse Wagstaff.
Yep.
Well, he was cited for his hit on Lockie Barker. That's why terror screens, they're great when you have your feet set and you stay down.
A little bit of that between the two, but you know who Roddy should be upset with? Big Sauce, Alan Williams. He's guarding Matiang.
Well, you are.
He didn't say, well,
he was
not the wicked here, but
was moving a little bit to the left, make no mistake about it. You got to be careful you don't accidentally clip somebody in the head. And there's still not many better in the game that we've seen in Australian terror screens than Aaron Baines and Nate Jarwai, because both are big enough bodies where they just have to stand still as Broekhoff answers back best way he knows how.
I see you, Aaron Baines, and I raise you, Andrew Vlahoff.
Sorry, that was coming.
Tried to kill me in 2001.
Frazier gets to the rim.
I said Nate Jarwai because I've fair share of that, the wrong end of those a couple of times.
Think Nate somewhere right now back picking somebody.
Well, Mango Matiang's now got 3 personal fouls. Gary Browne misses for the first time tonight from outside. It's 4 from 4 to that point. Leads a game high 8 points. In fact, we've got 10. And Frazier's drawing it back. They're within 6.
He's having a good time, Michael Frazier. And he is chatting to everybody.
Michael Frazier the second, letting everybody know, I'm getting to the rack and there's nothing that you can do to stop me.
What a moment for him. Just coming in with a whole different mindset than last season. And he looks like he is enjoying this second opportunity in the NBL.
And yet again we see the Hawks going to die wondering. We talked a lot about Michael Frazier the second. Peyton Seaver here speaks about his influence on this group.
Huge, and not only for the stats, you know, just his energy around the team, how hard he plays. Overall, just a really great guy, and he's came in with a true professional attitude, and he's really helped our team out a lot just from the defensive standpoint, offensive standpoint, and he's just been really a great addition.
See the energy he brings on court as well. He is not here to do anything but compete, and he's lifting the standards.
2 players there who are on elite college teams. Peyton Seaver with Louisville, well, they won the national title alongside Russ Smith. You remember that back? Oh my goodness. But Michael Frazier, they didn't end up winning it all. So have another look at this. Michael Frazier he's just bully ball. Gets one across the head from Trey Kell. Oh, he's just chatting to everyone. Having some fun, but that Florida team, Casey Prather, Scotty Wilbekin, Patrick Young. Speaking of terror screens, Patrick Young was one of the biggest humans on a basketball court you could ever see. Dorian Finney-Smith, plays for the Mavs, was on that team, the overall #1 seed.
So you can see, bottom right of your screen, the Kings getting it done against the Breakers in the earlier game to start round 10 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. And the Kings consolidating their position atop the table. The Breakers still in second. And the free throws are going amiss. After a positive start from the Hawks, they have now dropped to 61.5%, which is actually below their season average. The season average, which is very average.
We've got some Tim Conrad music on the floor. Checked in a little while ago, so he's out there chasing Roddy over the same screens that he likes to come off of. Unfortunately for that time for Timmy, he got the foul, so Roddy goes to the line. But we got Big Joe Chi back out there, Pete, for his 4 minutes of action. Got to get us up to 8.
So you've pushed him up to 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah, 3 last time.
3 last time.
Well, he'll finish this quarter, you think.
You'll want 5 from him in the third, 6 in the last. He'll end up playing, what, 18 minutes.
There you go. 3, 4, 5, 6.
And now it depends whether it's actual game time minutes he's on or life minutes, because this game's been going for about 4.5 hours with how many fouls we've had so far in this one.
Frazier goes to work again. Gary Browne, good defense. Conrad, his first involvement.
I'll be shocked if Tyler don't shoot this.
He's shooting it, and he's finishing it.
They say don't play with your food. Tyler Harvey was doing everything he wanted with Mitch Creek. You see all the different hesitations, and that's just the beauty of his game. Well, you have to respect any little head fake, any moment, his ability to just pull up for a floater from inside the 3 or even from the 3, so you have to be prepared for that. All the way to the hoop in the end, an easy layup.
Mitch Creek, seconds ticking down. Creek puts up the shot and comes away with 2 more.
The right-handed Mitch Creek. How many post options do the Phoenix have? Chi, Sauce, Creek?
Even Trey Kell, when they have mismatches, Simon Mitchell said that to us before the game as Michael Frazier is having a ball. I'm not sure how you lose a guy who's got 15 points in the first half.
Joe Chi, Froling with the block. And they come up with it, the Hawks. Harvey, the three, he does. And they are back within a couple. Timeout called by Simon Mitchell.
Hawks out in transitions. Sammy gets the board, kicks it out. That's that shot. This is this shot that if you don't make this one, Tyler, when you got a wide open Sammy Froling, that's the definition of pathological.
Well, Joe Chi was trailing. I'll give him a bit of the doubt. He's not really a lob threat from there, Sam Froling. With Tyler Harvey, you said he's got to get going. He's got 9 points now. Good little fight back here, good response from the Hawks. Gone out to double figures. Phoenix kind of run away with it, and they just slowly pegged it back.
His intensity all season's never dropped Jacob Jacobus, even with the team in seemingly hopeless positions in some of the games that they've played this year. Now, all of a sudden, he's got some uplift from his team, and that energy's being replicated on the court. Well, this is an opportunity that is not to be missed. Reebok's giving you the chance to win the trip of a lifetime to the US for you and a mate to meet Shaquille O'Neal. Flights, accommodation and spending money included. Enter now. You might even be able to probe him a little further with the talk around the league that Shaq might be interested in dipping a toe in the water around some ownership.
Wouldn't that be something? We already got some NBA guys running around making some big moves for some teams. We got the Brisbane Bullets with some Chris Middleton and Kevin Martin in ownership group. Luke Longley's in ownership group with the Kings. So Shaq, I think he's got a couple of dollars laying around. He could probably help a team out.
All those big names kept jumping on board. Damon Lowry with the Hawks. Everybody's just dipping into their pockets. Be part of the NBL.
Over the top to Broekhoff.
It's a beautifully drawn up set out of a timeout.
Tyler Harvey looking for more points. No problems. The right-hand hook goes. And the margin is 2 again.
And this is what we were saying pre-game, Pete. What do they do with Joe Chi on the defensive end? Everybody's putting him in ball screens. He's kind of sitting there in no man's land. If it's me, you're either going to come up and switch or stay all the way back. You can't be half and half.
Well, this isn't new because this happened last year with Joe Chi. And it's happened so often when he plays. We know how big he is, where you can't really have him up at the ball screen to try and hedge with his agility.
Shoot, nah, I'm going to make you shoot the 3 over the 7-foot hand.
Well, if you coming up to the level of the screen is different than hedging for Joe Chi, but he can be so effective in the drop. Andrew Bogut was so effective in the drops in that Sydney Kings team because guards like Casper Ware, those elite defending guards, were fighting so hard to get over the screen to run them in to the big fella. That's what happens when now Joe Chi's back in this lineup. Guys like Gary Browne, Trey Kell, Kyle Adner when he checks in, you've got to put so much more effort into fighting over the ball screen. You want to funnel the guard down into Joe Chi because you've got Tyler Harvey going into Joe Chi's body at the hoop. That's not going to end well for the offense. But when he gets stuck in that no man's land.
Oh, yes, Tim Conrad.
What?
So he didn't get all of the ball by the looks.
Statman, I need you on this immediately. How many blocks does Tim Conrad have for his career?
Look at this.
Tim said, get that foolishness out of here.
I saw a bit of daylight under those heels.
Yeah, no, all clean there. Ryan Broekhoff for 3. And the Phoenix in front again after the Hawks had done a brilliant job to level things up, having been 10 points down in this quarter. So Ryan Broekhoff now up to 13 points.
Full credit to Rowdy, just stays engaged. The guy can shoot regardless of whenever he gets his shot, he can shoot. He just backs himself. Good to see him shooting that ball with confidence.
Creek underneath on the reverse. That's classy. 5 points all of a sudden. .40 seconds to go until the halftime break. Frazier out to Conrad. It's going to be a Phoenix ball. Broekhoff And then Mitch Creek. Quality there.
Mitch Creek in transition. You don't pick him up before the three-point line, it's game over.
Jacob was talking about in his last timeout, we've got to finish off this half. In these situations like this, they've given up a wide-open three to Broekhoff. They're giving up a transition bucket to Mitch. They need to stop right now in the score going into the half.
Phoenix have won only 4 second quarters this season. It's been their worst quarter all year. You can see the breakdown to the right of screen, and Broekhoff wants to extend the lead here. Not this time. Tarangi keeps it alive but loses it. Ding, ding. Oh, what a performance in defense there from Ryan Broekhoff with the block. And now possession for the Phoenix. Couple of seconds left. Gary Browne out to Junior Madot. And yes, on the buzzer, he delivers.
Oh, just a mistake from Deng Deng firstly. Oh, hello. How's the celebration?
Bit happening. Bit happening.
Mistake from Michael Frazier, the second, leaving the corner wide open. Great D right here by Ryan. Didn't foul, kept the ball in play.
That's outstanding defense. Last man back.
Just a couple of minutes ago, the scores were level, 50 points apiece.
Have a look at this little TikTok going on here.
Hello. He likes his social feeds. Mitch Creek, that's going up. Let's go down to Drew Jones.
Thanks, Al. 13 points for Ryan Broekhoff, 58-50. How are you feeling, Ryan?
A little tired right now. No, look, it's been a tough first half. They've really come out, being aggressive, try to get to the rim, draw fouls. It's going to be a tough game, so we've got to get up for the second half.
The big block from Ryan Broekhoff to set up the free ball at the end.
Yeah, I didn't get off the ground, so well, I'll take it. I'll take anyone, but huge shot from Junior. We needed that momentum shift going into half time. Now we're going to carry the energy along.
Gary Browne controlling things nicely with the rock in hand, but also knocking down shots as well. Pretty handy for your team.
Yeah, he's incredibly tough to guard. When he's got his outside shot going, you can't go under. He's quick, he's shifty, he gets guys open, he feeds the big guys. He's a great player to play with.
Now, did you know that it was Mango setting that screen?
No.
But you knew about it shortly after?
Yeah, Creaky saved me from making a bit of a fool of myself, but just a bit of rush of blood, competitiveness came out, and you know, anytime you cup a little one to the face, you're a little angry. So we settled it. We gave him a high five, shook hands, and that's just basketball.
Thanks for your time, Ryan. Good luck second half.
Cheers.
58-50 at halftime at John Cain Arena. Stay with us after the break. All the analysis from the first half.
Now Harvey, he likes to look at the three ball. Tyler Harvey with a massive shot.
I feel like basketball is my calling. Sometimes you have to go through tough times to see if you really want it. You'll have that self-doubt, you'll have that, is it worth it, can I? But you just have to fight through it, I think, man. Anything worthwhile is gonna take consistency, patience, and hard work, and that's something I try to do throughout my career. Coming out of high school, no scholarship offers, but the head coach at the time got the job at a Division I, Eastern Washington. He said I could walk on if I wanted to. Walked on for 2 years. By my third year, got a scholarship. Long story short, ended up leading the nation in scoring the next year.
When it comes to three-point shooting, no one in Eastern Washington history is better than...
I decided to just take my chances and try my shot at the NBA. Ended up getting drafted to the Magic.
He was the main priority of every team they played against. He was the one guy that you had to stop.
There's Harvey pulling out for three. And that'll be it. Good night, Illawarra. Start the car.
It was tough, man. You know, it took a while to get over that one. For me personally, being that close, you get a taste of it. You don't want to have that feeling again, so that fuels me even more. That's why I signed here for 3 years. But Wollongong, people there are great, man. Honestly, everybody there is such a community. They're right by the beach. I mean, I'm from California, so the beach is where I grew up. It's definitely, that's a home for me, man, so I really enjoy it there.
He's been terrific for the Illawarra Hawks, hasn't he? He's their go-to man. He's the player that Simon Mitchell's targeting tonight to try and close him down. His influence grew, though, as this match wore on, Damon.
It started off a little bit slow, but I think he felt that the game was slipping away a little bit, and he just turned it on late in that second quarter. And he's been very patient. He's got to coexist with Michael Frazier II, who can score the ball as well. So Tyler knows who he is as a player, and he picks his moments, and so far, so good for him.
Let's take a look at the Hungry Jacks highlights in this clash with South East Melbourne leading 58-50, Damon. They got out to a 10-point lead in that quarter. The Hawks fought back, levelled it up 50 apiece with a couple of minutes to go, and then the way the Phoenix closed out that quarter was very impressive.
It's been a game of runs in a way. The Phoenix look like they're going to break away, and then the Hawks reel them back in, and just a couple of defensive breakdowns let the Phoenix kind of go into the half with this 8-point lead. But there's nothing separating these two teams. There's shot makers all over the floor. We're seeing Rowdy right there knocking shots down. Michael Frazier, like we said earlier, he's been fantastic so far. So this game is far from over. This 8-point lead, it seems closer than that to me.
Yeah, it has been a much improved performance again from the Illawarra Hawks tonight. They will rue the closing stages of that second quarter. They have led this match, but only for very fleeting moments in the first quarter. Look at that. Mitch Creek knows how to celebrate, doesn't he? These are the stats to half-time. The three-point shooting's been pretty impressive from both teams.
Both teams knocking the shot down. Hawks are 4 for 8. Phoenix 9 of 14 from the 3-ball. You can't give anybody an open look. The foul count is the big thing. Who's going to shoot 40 free throws today is probably going to win this game. So teams just got to tighten that up. Maybe we can get a photo of Pete over there in his in that jacket.
Well, this is the big reveal. I mean, you teased it earlier in the contest. Oh. What does Pete Hooley's jacket look like? We can take you to the analyzer because the Hoops professor, Pete Hooley, is going to run his eye over this game while we run our eye over his very fresh jacket.
Shout out Men's Club, let's get it in there. I know you love this, Damon. Let's look at off-ball movement, it's terrific. So this is what Joe Chi does. He sits in this, drops on the on-ball. That's the way he likes to play. The idea is if you're Peyton Seaver here, you want to attack downhill, go at Joe Chi. So let's watch how good he does this. So he does this in that drops defense. But what happens there? Because you know Joe Chi, elite rim blocker, Peyton Seaver's not going to go up and try and block that, try and score over him. Dave O'Hickey in the corner, just has a little cut back door on Anticevic, easy 2 points. That's the way you try and beat this. You've got to have off-ball movement with player movement. So that was terrific from the Illawarra Hawks. This is terrific from the South East Melbourne Phoenix doing the exact same thing. Damon and I have been speaking about this. They're trying to throw it in to Big Sauce. Everybody's going to watch where Big Sauce is. So you see the eyes here. Everybody's loading up. Michael Frazier is worried about Ryan Broekhoff. Big Sauce has been a beast so far. They're worried about where he is. So if that's the case, you've got to understand where's the advantage. And if you're Junior Medut here, he knows that they're going to be locked into Ryan Broekhoff. He sees all this space open up. You know you've got a willing passer on the other side. That's an easy 2 points. Great pass. Alan Williams has got a few assists on the night. This was that play out of the timeout that I mentioned. Just exceptionally well drawn up because when you know you've got Ryan Broekhoff on your team who's just hit a 3-ball, everyone's going to be locked in. So they get this movement from side to side. And watch the screen here from Joe Chi, who sets this screen on Tyler Harvey. There's all this space down here because Michael Frazier is not on the split line where he needs to be. He's worried about Mitch Creek. Watch the screen from Joe Chi. Little pass from an elite point guard, easy 2 points. That'll make Simon Mitchell really happy on the offensive end, but it's all about the other end for the Phoenix.
Love your work, Pete. Looking good, feeling good, and delivering as always. 8 points is the lead to the Phoenix. What will the second half produce? Can the Hawks find another fight back? That is on the other side of this. You want to be a Latrobe legend? Even better than that, would you like to win $50,000 for your troubles, for having a bit of fun out and about with your friends? Get them to take a shot of you attempting a half-court shot. You could win the $50,000. Enter now at nbl.com.au/legends. Thanks to all those who've sent in their entries. It's a pretty high standard we're seeing. Get your entry in. 8 points is the lead. Interestingly, Damon Lowry, Pete Hawley, the Illawarra Hawks, 50 points to half-time is their second highest tally this season to half-time. Their highest tally was 53. That came last week. So on the offensive end, they're starting to show a little bit more.
Except for that turnover right on cue, unfortunately. And,
Mitch Creek clutching at his shin. I think he'll bounce up. Frazier is also in some discomfort.
Good effort. I tell you what, we missed the source from Gary Browne on the break. To set that play up, Michael Frazier would chase down a town. That's what you like to see, just going up to Mitch Creek. Let's see if he's all right.
Somebody need to go to the bench and see if Simon Mitchell's all right. He could be passed out over there watching that tumble. That's the last thing the Phoenix need is a...
Everybody in the crowd holding their breath. He's tough. We know he is.
Mitch Creek's average for points is second in the league, but he has scored the most points. Phoenix have played more games than the Perth Wildcats. Bryce Cotton is the season leading average.
To your point, Al, earlier, like the Hawks, obviously 50 points for a half is sensational for them. But it's the 58 they gave up at the half, which is the problem. So, look, there's definitely some positives. You can tell the team is trending in the right direction intensity-wise. And now when you put yourself in a situation and win, all those little things become even more important. So they just got to tighten up the turnovers and obviously just keep the intensity for the whole 4 quarters.
Offensive foul called on Ding Ding.
Here's the Amy replay. Look at this. Look at this little source here from Gary Browne just to draw Payne Seaver in. And, oh, could have been really nasty on the fall. Michael Frazier, no malice in it. It was just trying to get the block from behind. And just a nice little one. Mitch Creek back-to-back plays.
You know, I kind of beat up Creaky, but he's tough, like you say. They breed him like that in Horsham.
Broekhoff, the fadeaway, long.
Now, this is the thing we discussed a little bit at the start of the game. So 14 minutes played for Alan Williams. I know he's been to the free throw line 6 times. 0 field goal attempts.
How many?
A donut.
Jeez.
So, yes, he's been fouled a couple of times, obviously going to try and shoot. And he's been double-teamed a lot, but this man is averaging 17 and 9.
Trey Kell from the free throw line. All been shooting from there. Broekhoff and Williams with the putback.
That'll change it.
This has been the worst minute and 18 seconds of basketball the Hawks have played to come out of this third quarter. I don't know what happened at halftime, but this team has come out in the third. They've done everything wrong so far. So we might be getting an early timeout from Jacob just to reconsolidate.
It's a game-high 12-point lead. Froling goes to work.
Well, that's not going to cut it. It's been the last couple of possessions where credit the Phoenix defense. They're up and in.
Mitch Creek.
They're up and in and forcing Illawarra to have to try and dish up the rock and then go one-on-one. First it was Deng Deng offensive foul, then it was Sam Froling.
It's got to go here. It doesn't go. Froling did knock down a couple of threes. Seaver hits the deck. Browne to Creek. Gary Browne.
I think he's banged knees here with Payne Seaver.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Got a fake warning, White. Fake warning. That's what you say. You got to do the. All right, so we have a flop warning on 8 for this play.
Flop warning on Payne Seaver. I tell you what.
Oh, hell is broken loose.
I'm not so sure about a flop warning. I think he took it. Let's have another look here. Oh, it's not a flop. It's definitely been hit.
Yeah. Got a side ball there.
I think it's either
I did.
just a no call.
What he's called, and I'm telling you, I'm just informing you,
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, it's all right.
Could have been a charge, to be honest.
All right.
I don't think there's enough contact here for an offensive foul.
So you see there, referee saying he doesn't think there's enough contact. There's definitely some contact. No, probably a flop call is a bit tough.
Gary tried to sell it. He gets the hit, jumps up and down, lands, and then decides to go down with his knee. See, now you're out of the game. I wish he would have stayed up on his feet so he could stay on the floor, but this has been one wild minute, 2 minutes.
He's going back to the locker room, so hopefully that is just a bit of a knee-on-knee stinger from Gary Browne, and we're up to 35 fouls, as you expected. Let's have another look at this. Just bang, knee-on-knee, that left knee of Gary Browne into the right knee of Seaver. See the contact. No.
You know how you say knee in Spanish? Rodilla. I just threw that out there.
Rodilla.
Well, even if I did know, you didn't give me a chance to answer, so I don't know what the point of that question was. But there is that timeout from Jacob Jackomas as we have a look at Gary Browne's exceptional game so far. He's got 12 points, 6 assists. Oh, he likes to dish the rock. He's 4 or 5 from deep. That's what got us started. Only shooting 23%, but you got to crawl up a little bit more. He gets the kick out, and then the defense started to break down. Payne Seaver goes underneath the screen to a man who's already hit 2 threes. Makes you pay, and then this one here just sends David Hickey the wrong way. And when you're feeling good, you're feeling great.
is where he's done his work from. You can see those 4 threes. So, well, 4 in succession earlier in the game. A couple of misses after that, but he is making his mark again. Gary Browne. Southeast Melbourne Phoenix holds its biggest lead, 12 points. He, for the moment, though, is receiving some medical attention. So this is where the challenge has really been put before the Hawks. They've risen to each challenge the Phoenix has presented so far in this game. Creek, Adnam.
Kyle is no stranger to these situations where he's got to come on to be the lead guard. He hasn't been playing a whole lot today, only up to maybe 4 minutes. Like you said, Simon has shortened the rotations, and Kyle has been a casualty of that. But we all know what Kyle is capable of, so this is his time to shine right now.
Scotty, just want to... Scotty.
Broekhoff. He's getting a friendly helping hand from a fan. So Broekhoff, 13 points, 5 rebounds. Only 12 rebounds in total for the Illawarra Hawks, 3 of those in this quarter. Bullet, Seaver. Harvey. Out it goes to Froling. That doesn't go.
He's got to keep shooting it because he shot the lights out the other day and he continues to just add that to his arsenal. And
Broekhoff, it's in his arsenal, all right.
It's a mistake from Tyler Harvey. You can't go for a steal when you've got an elite shooter like Broekhoff. He's already knocked down a couple, setting his feet.
They're on a 15-0 run at the moment. Apologies, Damon.
No, I'm sorry. The Phoenix are being very methodical with what they're doing. Mitch said, I'm going to just get one back here. Just put a little forearm into the chest of Peyton Seaver.
He doesn't fight.
But the Hawks right now, this is danger times. Clearly being down 15 is not great, but the way they played that first half, the way they came out this third quarter, this can't be tolerated by Jacob. And he knows it. I'm sure a timeout is not far away. Another one might be on the way. But the guys out there on the floor, he's made the subs. He's got Matiang out there. He's put Wani swapping the bullet out there, and he's trying to just change some momentum up and find a group that can bring that intensity back to what they had in the first half.
3 scoreless minutes for the Hawks in this third quarter. Adnam. Broekhoff. Adnam. And Creek. Nice finish.
Just good movement there from Mitch Creek. Oh, Adnam ran out of room. Just put yourself in the right spot to get a little dump-off pass. Easy finish. 17-point margin. That's going to be a foul on Kyle Adnam. We've just seen that all night long. Is everybody holding off the ball? So that's 38 fouls.
If he can't screen,
with 6.5 minutes to go.
And you hold him all the way.
So you can hear the referee explaining it beautifully. They're trying to go and set a screen, and there's just a hold.
Here we go.
So Trey Kell and Mitch Creek both with 3 personal fouls. Michael Frazier and Deng Deng, along with Mango Matiang, 3 for the Hawks. Seaver, can he get them going? No. Kicks it out. Harvey.
Wow.
Broekhoff does not like the call.
45 black.
That might be the one that might not be. The other 38 have been there. That one maybe not.
Statman.
I'm already on it. I'm on it.
We need to know the most fouls ever in a game of basketball in the NBL, because
there's not a lot in that.
It is under pressure right now.
So Broekhoff joins the host of players with 3 personal fouls.
The record for one team in a game in the 40 minutes, 34 fouls. There's a great pass from Seaver, and just
nothing is happening here for the Hawks. Creek in transition. Oh, yes.
Gary Browne back in the game. That's going to delight Phoenix fans.
19-0 run for the Phoenix, taking this game by the scruff of its neck.
Jacob Jacobus is hoping for the TV timeout that doesn't exist here in Australia.
They need something. All the life and energy has been sapped from them, it seems.
14.
Just for something different.
Holding foul, bonus 2.
Hey, Pete, do I need to can we
Both teams.
Can we go back to my comment about the fouling out? If you foul out, leave John Cain Arena.
I was so against you when you said that a few weeks ago. I thought it was one of the most ludicrous things I've ever heard.
Like it now, don't you?
I'm well on board now.
Okay, you think
what start coming from the Phoenix, and both teams about to be in the bonus once again.
A lot of these fouls, too, they're just so undisciplined. They're not necessary. You know, we got guys fouling each other, 30 feet away from the basket. There's just no need for it.
You're spot on. There is 16 players with with 2 or more fouls in this game.
Okay.
So they have come up with a couple of points then. Ending that 19-0 run for the Phoenix. Either side of the halftime break.
Gary Browne back on the floor. His rodilla está bien. I said his knee is better, Pete.
3 free throws.
Pete is having a heart attack over here, ladies and gentlemen. Can we go up and down without fouling a couple of times? I get the endeavor, but it's just the execution, it's just the discipline.
Yeah, you're spot on. Discipline is the right word, and the lack of adjustment is the other. So you go through the whole first quarter, realise the way the game's being officiated, where you can't get away with anything. They're on top of every single hold off the ball. When you've got elite shooters, it's going to have that physicality away from the ball where you try and hold them up, not let them go and set a screen, not let them run off screens, try and do a little bit more on the defensive end away from the ball. The referees have been all over it. You put 2 hands on, you wrap around the waist or you hold anybody, they're going to be blowing the whistle.
Back out to 19 again. Will Hickey getting a rev up as he prepares to come back onto the court. Game-high 20-point lead to the Phoenix.
Game high. Come on, Broekhoff. Been outstanding. 19 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 6 of 7 from the line. So it's 6 boards as well. There he is again. His energy is terrific.
Hickey. Conrad. Jacob Jackomas swings the changes.
Kyle's begging for one. Easy.
Hickey gets the rim. And go Matiang. Gives them a second look. Hadasevich, though, got the deflection. Browne. Hadasevich. Browne over the top to Williams, a good option. And Alan Williams, he's up to 9 points.
9 points, 10 boards in very limited action. He's been super efficient. Gary Browne with his 8th assist. That's really good defense from Broekhoff.
We've been talking a lot about the Hawks in this third quarter from hell for them, but you got to give the Phoenix some credit. They're looking to consolidate themselves in this top 4, moving up the ladder, getting that 3rd spot.
They want top 2.
They want top 2, but they're trying to get some consistency and just go on a roll. This is officially the halfway point of the season, and this is where you got to really start to trend in the right direction. And what everybody's been talking about, can the Phoenix be trusted? And so far, the consistency has been, not quite, but a performance like this will go a long way to build that consistency.
Adnan pulls the trigger. They are on fire now. 25 points to the good on the back of a 25-2 run.
Well, their defense has been sensational in terms of the way they're trying to play. Look at this from Gary Browne. All over Michael Frazier like a glove. And in the end, there's a foul. Well, 99% of it before that, before he fell over. It was terrific.
I was counting the dribbles. I think I got up to 22 before that foul happened. Michael Frazier's been great, but sometimes like that, he can hang on to the ball a little too long. Right now, the Hawks need some stability. This 25-point lead is obviously a shock, but you're not going to get it all back in one possession.
The Illawarra Hawks have scored 2 points in 6 minutes and 10 seconds of this quarter. Frazier at the line. Brought so much energy. Had them fired up in the first half. 16 points for Frazier. 24 the gap. Tarangi. Beautiful. Williams feeds Tarangi, cutting to the basket. This is a free-for-all.
Hawks try to slip into a 2-3 zone as if the Phoenix wouldn't notice. And they just brought Sauce up to the high post and got a backdoor cut, the easiest of layups. We was talking pregame with Simon Pete, and he mentioned about, can Sauce and Joe Chi play together at any stage? And he said it depends on the lead, it depends on the game. Sometimes I think this could be the game with a 26-point lead. He might experiment and put the two of them out there.
Well, you got to think about around the league. That's a great little dump-off pass from Trovi, and Big Sauce is getting most of his action right now. As Jacobus wants another timeout, and so he should. It's been so disappointing in this 7 minutes of the second half. But there's probably, you look around the league, as I mentioned, there's probably one team that you do that against in a final series, and it might be the Breakers in terms of Pardon and Brantley, their size, and try to find something there. But other than that, everyone else is probably going to have a mismatch on the other end. But Ryan Broekhoff, what a game he's put together. 19 points, he's got 6 rebounds, 3 of them on the offensive end, and we spoke about this a little bit. You can't let elite shooters feel good about themselves early. You can't let them get any good ones. They've gone in between, over the screen on those way too often. So it's just a mental breakdown on the defensive end. And right here, it's probably a bit trickier when you've got to try and help on the Mitch Creek down low. He's done good on the defensive end as well. And that's another one of those mental lapses. Too good of a shooter with his feet set.
Ryan's a consummate pro. Sorry, Al. He just goes about his business. He stays true to who he is. Doesn't detract anything from the team when it's not his turn, but when it's time to go, he clearly can go to work.
Now, I've done a little bit of digging. Well, the stat man done a little bit of digging, Damon. So, just this season, most fouls recorded in a game, a non-overtime game. It was 49 in round 5.
Who did it?
Sydney and Cairns. 25 from Sydney, 24 from Cairns. We currently sit at 21 apiece.
Well, you mentioned Sydney. South East Melbourne are yet to meet the Sydney Kings this season. That challenge is not too far away. It's coming on the 18th of December at John Cain Arena. We've seen them quit themselves against the New Zealand Breakers this season on a couple of occasions.
That right there, that is rookie versus the vet. Savage. Wouldn't have seen a whole lot. Tim Conrad might have one line in the scout. When he comes in, contests without fouling. That thing is doesn't need any time or space. One of the quickest releases. That thing brings down rain every time he releases it.
The Phoenix have beaten the Breakers once this year. That was in New Zealand, 99-77, but they've been beating them most recent outing in New Zealand against them, 110-84. They're the two benchmarks, it seems, in the competition, albeit the Kings are counting for New Zealand in New Zealand earlier tonight, 88-81.
No doubt about the Kings, the benchmarks, but I'll tell you what, other than that, Phoenix, Cairns, New Zealand, let's not forget about Adelaide. Adelaide's starting to roll.
Are they?
Still got a piece up their sleeve.
Do they?
They've got an import spot.
I know they got a spot, but do they have an import? CJ's been very coy about that import spot. I wouldn't be surprised if one didn't show up.
Oh, they'll get one.
Craig Randall up to Tarangi. Fires.
Well, this is one of those games where Illawarra Hawks. It's nice to have had him. Just go out there and create something, spark something. Extremely flat in this third quarter.
So all the young guys out there, teams who don't get a whole lot of playing time, like Grant Antisevich right now, if you want to earn their coach's trust, you got to play mistake-free basketball. Because you're not going to have the luxury of being on the floor for 28 minutes to be able to do a whole bunch of stuff. So what Grant's got to do is not foul. And it'd be nice if he made a couple of shots, but he's got to at least hold up his end defensively. Because they'll be checking those plus-minuses, which I never check, Pete. But the coaches will be checking those just to check his efficiency. And that's how Grant will earn Simon's trust.
Well, that was a hopeful attempt there from Tyler Harvey. He's down in pain. Gary Browne Seaver hits the deck, and Asiewicz pulls the trigger, and this time Damon Lowry, he delivers.
There it is. Keep shooting it. That's what he did at University of Cal. He's a shooter. He's a 6'9" shooter, and all that happened because Peyton Seaver tried to hop in the way of Big Joe Chi. Ref just looked at him while he was on the ground. While Grant went in there and got a wide open triple. Good on him.
Free throws coming up for Mango Matiang.
This is one of those games right now where see him standing up. Dane Pinot on Foxwell. There's Junior Maduit. Just, if the hammy's not warm yet, just a little slight stretch out of the view of Simon Mitchell. Very strong chance for a few minutes at the end of this one. What a third quarter dominant performance from Southeast Melbourne. Sung the praises of the Hawks in the first half, and there's been a complete 180. And
oh, goodness me. Huh? They want burgers, and based on what we just saw, I'd be queuing up at your nearest Hungry Jack's.
I want the rule. If you shoot an air ball from the free throw line, you got to do 10 push-ups before you shoot the second one.
It's always going to be fitness-related with you, doesn't it?
No problems.
Oh, my. Well, talk about it.
That was an anti-climax for those youngsters.
That was the most beautiful free throw I've ever seen.
They were ready to feast. Tarangi, another three gets knocked down, and the margin is 30. So for the Hawks, they have not had a single figures quarter all season. They've only managed 7 points in this quarter so far. The opposition 29, and that's a nice finish from Frazier. So they need another bucket.
We're in a little 2-3 zone here, just trying to find something to slow down this offensive onslaught from the Phoenix. 87 points through 3 quarters.
Adnam now. It doesn't go. Matiang attacks the board. Peyton Seaver. Set up this play here. Goes himself, drives, loses it. Mango Matiang has travelled. And there goes the opportunity. So 10 points in the second quarter against Perth, and 10 points, in the third quarter against Perth, 10 points in the second quarter against New Zealand. And only 9 points here. Tarangi to add more pain. No. Time to shoot. Peyton Seaver pulls the trigger. It's a horror third quarter for the Hawks. Their lowest score in a quarter this season. And Southeast Melbourne has put the Illawarra Hawks away in a commanding third quarter performance. It's 87-59 in the Hungry Jacks NBL. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix put the foot down in that third quarter. It got a little physical early on, but then it became one-way. 9 points scored by the Hawks, their lowest quarter all season. Southeast Melbourne in that quarter, 29 points. The lead got out as far as 30. It stands at 28 at three-quarter time. So Southeast Melbourne looks like, unless there's some sort of miracle, like going to third on the table. Jack McVeigh is on the Damon Lowry train when it comes to restricted minutes. We've been talking about Joe Chi and his role tonight, Damon, and Jack McVeigh having a great season with the Jack Jumpers is on the same page as you.
There you go, Jackie boy. Absolutely. We've been saying it all season. Like, what is the big deal? Like, what's the guy going to do in another extra couple of minutes? I mean, they act like we've gone too sports science crazy and forget the guys are basketball players. I tell you what, instead of making me do those three-man weaves and 3-on-2 drills in training for 5 minutes, give me the 5 minutes of playing time. So, yeah, I'm glad to see Jack say that, and I bet he's not on his own with that. Where you at with that, Pete?
Well, look, I mean, I think it's... A lot of the time, it depends on who the player is, I think, too. Like, so we're looking at Joe Chi, and he's been through a lot, as Drew Jones mentioned. There's been a lot of different things he's had to go through, and he's not a type of player who you just throw out there and say, play through it, and he's going to have to slowly build that up if he has been literally doing nothing. Again, it depends on an injury, too, I think. If you're coming back off something that's a shoulder or something else where you should be able to do other things, then that's a lot different than maybe if you literally have had a calf issue and not being able to get out of a jog or get out of a walk.
Oh, yes. There we go, Joe Chi. How's that calf?
But having said that, Damon Lowry ran 1,000 kilometres in a month with 2 torn calves, a broken kneecap, absolutely everything.
Punctured lung.
Yeah, allergic to excuses. Allergic. Timmy lets it go. I like what Kyle just did just down that pick and roll. He was real patient because we know Kyle likes to get into that key and get his little floater off, but he waited and he let Joe Chi get underneath the basket, throw him a nice little lob for the easy one. And I would play Joe the rest of this quarter.
Oh.
The rest of these 8.5 minutes is all yours, Big Chi.
The other side of it is, I know it's very rare, but once you do start to get really fatigued after you've been out for so long and you try and push through, that's when things are more likely to go in the wrong way. If you do, maybe you don't jump off the right way or have a little niggle here and there. But you know what? Since you're calling the game, let him stay out there. If he doesn't, I want to hear you call him weak.
Oh, Mitch Creek.
Pep talk.
He's having some fun. He's a great entertainer. Gibbo's down there. How are you, mate? Gibbo's
he's back.
high-fiving.
He's back.
Mitch Creek.
Gibbo.
I thought it was just your stock standard punter down there, but no, Gibbo occupying premium real estate at John Cain Arena. He's there for the high fives, low fives, whatever fives are required. Junior Madun. Another. This has got way out of hand for the Illawarra Hawks, which is unfortunate given they were encouraging with their performance in the first half. It slipped to this point. It's 94-59. You can see it's a jovial and relaxed mood on the Southeast Melbourne bench. And the soul-searching, how quickly it turns to soul-searching again for the Illawarra Hawks, coming off a confidence-boosting win over Melbourne United, bringing the energy and form from that game into tonight's contest for a half, and then just capitulating in the most unfortunate fashion in the third quarter when they scored just 9 points, their lowest tally in any quarter this season. There is Joe Chi getting a few miles in his legs tonight, which is important as he makes his return from injury. He's played nearly 12 minutes. Mitch Creek ready to go again. Lead at 35, which is the equal highest lead Southeast Melbourne has had in any quarter or in any game this season. And against the Hawks in round 8 was the last time they led by a margin of 35 in a game. Is that about to be eclipsed here in this play?
Shot didn't help, but what I did love to see coming out of that timeout, Mango Mathieu went around to every player on the floor telling them to keep their heads up. Saying, you've got to continue to fight here.
Joe Chi, get that height even on Froling, it's too much. And there you go. A 37-point lead, their greatest lead in any game this season has been achieved. At three-quarter time, their 87-point tally is equal to the biggest score at three-quarter time this season. The Taipans against the Jack Jumpers in round one also had 87 points at three-quarter time. So it's been commanding.
I'm going to pose something to you, Pete.
Hear me.
I don't know how many guys in the league this year have played in the 48-minute era, which that's the only era I ever played in.
Zero.
But now, one of these guys in the entire league has played when it was a 48-minute league. Because I'm thinking, has a shorter game made guys lose fitness? You know what I mean? Because nobody really plays 37 minutes a game on a regular basis. Because back in that 48-minute era, Gazy, the Andrew Gazes, the Copelands, the Brett Mars, these guys, Darnell Mees, these guys on the floor for 42 minutes. So now guys don't seem to be able to play it out. Guys seem to get rest after 2 or 3 minutes these days. So I don't know, it had to impact the game and shorten the game, you know, for entertainment purposes. But has it come at a detriment to players' fitness?
Well, it's an interesting one when you don't have the chance. But as you mentioned, practices these days are, you talk 2.5, maybe 3 hours long. Much needed bucket there from Sam Froling as Phoenix tick it over. Phoenix, the helmet's off, the bat's up. They've raised a ton with 6 minutes to go. And you can't even compare it to the 48-minute game of the NBA, because the NBA, with all the media timeouts that are incredibly long, I'm talking like 3 minutes of actual lifetime. So it's really hard, even if you do play 44 minutes over there. So sporadic in those bursts. But I don't think I can call another game with you, because I haven't ran in 4.5 years. And the way that you're calling me weak and calling everybody else. But when you run 1,000 kilometres in a month, Al, I think you have the right to call everybody that.
You were running in pouring rain and wild winds at 4:30 a.m. in the morning as part of your mad fitness regime, weren't you, Damon? And what did your wife say to you?
She wasn't a big fan. She told me, she got very annoyed and said, don't run out there in the storm.
What did you say?
I told her I am the storm.
Stand corrected, by the way. Of course, Dave Barlow and Brad Newley played in 48 games.
Oh, yes, that's it. Me and Newley, back in the old Townsville Park days.
You sent me up there, you knew that.
So the margin has got out to 40. It's now back to 37.
Why is Mitch Creek on the basketball court right now?
He's enjoying himself.
He's having a good time, but I'd rather, hey, Joe Chi, go in for Mitch.
Dane Pinot getting some court time. Marching back to 39. Mitch Creek, just keep an eye out for it. He needs just one three-pointer for 200 in his NBL career. So we'll see if he can achieve that tonight. Ding. Doesn't go. Junior Madut with the rebound.
Yeah, knowing everybody was getting around.
Here we go.
Is that it? Nope.
It's short.
You might have a little understanding of what's going on there.
I knew when all the commentators was getting around Chris Goldie for the thousands, I knew I wasn't going to get that phone call to put my 2 cents in for congratulations, because you got to make more than 100. I'm sure there's a list out there. I'm on it somewhere. The career 31%, 100 made threes in the career.
Plenty more to that list, by the way. Tom Abercrombie, Corey Webster. You were on the ball as Mitch Creek checks out. I've got a bigger question, because it's been the talk all week in the media. It was on Born the Real World podcast, Oliver Ulick and Kane Pittman. They were talking about All-NBL team, and did my awards watch, and it's been NBL today. So as it stands with the NBL criteria, there's the 3 outside players, the 2 inside players. So there's 2 All-NBL teams, and I bring this up now because Mitch Creek and Alan Williams. So Creek, we know, is an MVP contender, 22 points per game, 6 rebounds on a team that's going to finish the season as one of the leading contenders. Alan Williams has 17.5 and 9.5 rebounds. He's got a double-double again tonight, and really quietly. So there's 2 names for you. We've got Jarrell Brantley, Derek Pardon. We've got Xavier Cooks, Robert Franks, Keanu Pinder, and I believe potentially DJ Hogue if they like to list him as an inside player. So first team, who have you got as the first team? Pick 2 of that list.
First of all, let me say I'm only participating in this conversation with you out of respect, because I don't believe this criteria needs to be reviewed.
I think we're going to slowly get...
Mitch Creek is not, I repeat, not an inside player.
Well, he's listed there because he starts as a power forward.
I don't care where he's listed, so I can't have him peak straight away. I can't have Mitch on there. For my inside guys, I got to go Big Sauce, and I got to...
In the first team.
Okay. Big Sauce and Jarrell Brantley.
In the first team.
Oh, first team. Hang on a minute. Keanu Pinder.
I was going to say.
My bad.
I thought Xavier Cooks didn't exist for a little bit.
There's another guy I like to see on the perimeter myself.
Attack into the game.
I love this music.
So 3 minutes and 23 seconds.
Here we go, no running.
Remaining in this match.
Love the Anzac music. Let's run a play for him right now. Crowd will erupt.
Everybody has a chance to hit the scoreboard here.
Pinot, Mudut.
Before he gets his shot attempt up, David, I want your second team as well.
Zach Rossetto, just a minute and 42 seconds on court this season. Oh, yeah, they're knocking them down from everywhere. Adasevich joins the party, 108 and a lead of 40.
Second team, Pete. Again, I'm not putting Mitch Creek on it because fundamentally he's not an inside guy.
Oh, he's going to be there?
I don't care what anybody says. I'm not doing it. Which means he misses out.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not my fault.
David
It's a crazy
Larry.
rules. It's crazy criteria. He's a perimeter guy. Which now?
So just as we get a minor pause in things, courtesy of yet another foul, you get the chance to win this magnificent car. With thanks to MG, we're giving away a brand new MG ZS EV electric car valued at $44,990. Enter now at nbl.com.au/winmg. Well, pressure is being put on a colder Gak, but he's
the one thing this game is missing for Phoenix fans is burgers. And Mitch Creek's in there for me. Right now, Xavier Cooks is obviously a lock in that first team. It's a toss a coin between Pinder and Mitch Creek in my eyes. One of those will fall to the second team. And what about Derek Pardon, which makes Alan Williams incredibly unlucky for the season that he's putting together. But so does Jarrell Brantley. So does Robert Franks.
Do you feel any guilt as we look at the Amy replay and Junior Madut get into the rack? Do you feel any guilt that the only true center that you've named is Alan Williams and he can't get in? He's the only true center. But we're going to put small forwards
as
in.
It stands, I play by the rules. So you are clearly...
I'm a rule breaker.
You are clearly one of those kids growing up that used to steal everybody else's marbles in the playground. And I'll tell you what, we stay within the rules here. But I'm with you. I think that's something that will continue to get looked at as well as the Rookie of the Year. So I am petitioning for a criteria change there.
And most improved, because you want to give a double most improved to the same guy.
Well, that is 100%.
Calder Gak on the spin. It doesn't go. Hickey. Will be a Hawks ball. Just in terms of records, we saw a bit of franchise history created by the Phoenix earlier this season when they defeated the Illawarra Hawks in round 8 by 34 points. That was their greatest ever margin of victory. And that looks like being eclipsed unless the Hawks can find something late in the piece here.
The Phoenix said, hold my beer. We can do better than that.
And right there, so the Phoenix obviously took the helmet off, raised the bat, reaching 100. Both teams can just raise the bat for the 50th foul in this game for a record so far in NBL23. 27 fouls to the Phoenix, 23 fouls to the Illawarra Hawks. As Lockie Dent comes in, instant offense off the bench when it's too late.
Sort of more snap the bat territory, I reckon, and toss it in the nearest garbage bin. It's been a foul fest, all right.
They'll ask me where was I in history when the foul count was broken. I'll say I was sitting next to the guy in the burnt orange blazer, burning my retina.
I'm sticking with rust. I think it's more of a rust color.
Yeah. I'm going bronzed. It's the bronzed Aussie look.
I don't mind bronze. Sherbet, I thought sherbet maybe.
Just as a hint of the Hungry Jacks colouring about it.
Yeah, well, maybe a bit of the NBL logo.
And you could whopper your way to LA with Hungry Jacks NBL. Grab any large burger meal at Hungry Jacks and enter your receipt code to win flights, accommodation, spending money and 4 tickets to a basketball game in the USA. And if you go, you should take that jacket, people.
Tell you what, Alistair Segway Nicholson. Did you see how smooth that was? I had no idea where he was going with that.
Keep you on your toes. Your way. Keep you on your toes. In fact, we should throw in your jacket to whoever wins the prize.
I refuse to part with this thing. I walked into the Legends Mark at Men's Club and gave me a couple of options, and he said this one suited me perfectly. I hadn't even had a haircut at that stage, and I said that you're too nice, but I'll trust you. Anthony Drimmick's already shouted me out.
Mark is very good.
Oh, here we go.
But news has come through from Men's Club that he specifically requested that jacket.
Oh, I'm all about it. It looks orange on the camera, but it's more of the rust.
I'm not sure. You should have saw him peacocking around the place before he went to air. What do you guys think of my jacket?
I'm more surprised how quickly you put down that chocolate bar. I don't want anybody to think that you actually indulge in anything bad for your body.
Just to clarify, what you're seeing at home is what we are seeing on the desk. That is an orange jacket. Correct me if I'm wrong, Damon.
We need our sunnies next time. Pete, you got to give us a heads up next time you're rocking here looking like that.
I'm being, firstly, you steal my marbles in the playground, and now you're straight up bullying.
Under a minute to go then, and this is going to be a memorable win for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, as much as they have not kept sufficient eye on the shot clock there. And Anzac Rosetto is getting a few late minutes here, much to the enjoyment of the locals. So he's doubled his tally of minutes for the season. Hickey. Gack a little reluctant. Conrad and Hickey. Margin at 39, so this does look like being the biggest win in the history of Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Hickey tries to do something about it. Ball's pinging around everywhere at the moment. Dent. Stolen away. Madut. Foxwell.
Yeah, if Foxy shoots this, he's going to get in trouble. Don't shoot it.
Well, every point matters, man. Percentage. I'll tell you what.
Well, what a victory. As the Phoenix climb to third, making history on the way. Their greatest margin of victory in the NBL. A 39-point win over the Illawarra Hawks. A blistering second half from the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix as they continue this run of form that they are on. 8 wins now from their past 11 games. And Ryan Broekhoff, no surprises, is our Foot Locker player of the game. 21 points, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc and 7 rebounds. He one of many superb performers for the Phoenix.
Ryan was rock solid all game. He survived a terrorist screen in the backcourt. They would have put the average man out, but he's come out today and just played. He's a true professional, Roddy. It's good to see him get the rewards. And this team is now, Al, they're trying to build the trust of a nation. Can they go forward and string a few together now?
So it's been a very good night for the Phoenix.
Great job, keep doing it. Great job.
Positivity, chemistry, performance, it's coming together.
Straight out, straight out.
And they are a happy bunch. They win it 111-72 in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
What a second half from Southeast Melbourne Phoenix tonight. It's 58-50. At the halftime break, it finishes 111-72. The Illawarra Hawks managing just 22 points after halftime, and we've been talking about how competitive the Hawks had been in that first half of basketball. So, terrific performance. Here are the Hungry Jacks highlights, and there were many, particularly in that second half for Southeast Melbourne. Up to third now, Pete.
Well, they're going to continue to rise if they play like this, and credit their second half defensively. Offensively, they got whatever they want. Illawarra Hawks will look back at a lot of film and be super disappointed with how they played on the defensive end, especially in the second half. But for the Phoenix defensively, tighten the screws. They got up and in. Yes, they were still racking up the fouls, but they were really causing havoc for Illawarra to try and get any sort of momentum offensively. Yes, they didn't help themselves at times. They had 20 turnovers on the night. If you have 20 turnovers over the night, you must be an elite offensive team who still have a chance to win a ball game. And it didn't happen for them in the end, so credit to the Phoenix for doing what they should have done, and they flexed their muscle in the second half.
So the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, they will face off against the Adelaide 36ers on Sunday at John Cain Arena. I cannot wait to see how they fare against the quality of the Sydney Kings. That's going to be the real litmus test, as much as you think the 36ers are a team to be reckoned with as well, Bulls. But the Sydney Kings, when they come up against them, you wonder what they might be able to do.
You need your A game to beat the Kings, but guess what? The Kings can beat you with their B game. Ooh. That's how good they are. They don't shoot themselves in the foot. They are rock solid across the board. They got a go-to guy in Xavier Cooks. Everybody pitches in. It's beautiful basketball to watch.
It's as beautiful as this jacket. So we're going to continue to talk about that. I can't wait for that matchup because Sydney are the benchmark. And if you want to win a title this year, you're going to have to go through the Sydney Kings. Everyone should be measuring themselves against the Kings.
And getting their pieces together. So Joe Chi, restricted minutes, played a tick over 13 minutes tonight. Valuable minutes for him.
Yeah, he's going to continue to build, you'd think. I mean, Alan Williams, we've talked about his production. It was limited, finished with a double-double. So everyone can fit different roles. They can play small if they have to. They can play extra large. See what happens.
Enjoyed your company tonight, guys. Good banter between you two, as always. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. Southeast Melbourne putting on a bit of a clinic in the end. They won it comfortably. A franchise history biggest ever win of 39 points over the Illawarra Hawks tonight. Tune in again tomorrow night for further NBL action.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.